just looking at, what are some of the other guys are sort of doing in sort of trials, practices, and what you see on Instagram and socials, it's going to be tough.
Definitely get behind the Australian Butcher team. We're representing the country and we all want to do a good job and make everyone proud.
This is the Australian Butchers Guild podcast, brought to you by Meat and Livestock Australia, the podcast for passionate butchers.
G'day and welcome to the Australian Butchers Guild podcast. I'm your host, Doug Piper. I hope you guys are enjoying the podcast, and we're going to be bringing you a ripper episode tonight. We're catching up with two butchers who are heading over to Paris next year to compete in the World Butcher Challenge, and we've got Justin Wade from Meatsmith in Victoria and Matty Papandrea from Son of a Butcher in New South Wales. G'day, fellas.
How you going?
Hello, Doug.
Congratulations on getting positions in, or winning positions in the team, because it was quite a big feat to get through to those trials that we had in Brisbane a few months back. So well done for both of you of winning your positions in the butcher team, on the young butcher team, actually, isn't it?
Yeah, thanks, Doug.
With the trials that you both went to, you had a little bit of planning to do. Justin, so you did a fair bit of planning to get to that stage. Did you do that, a lot of that in the shop where you work, or did you do it with a couple of trainers out there? Or
No, so I actually applied for the senior team first, which was an online trial. So we had to send some photos and some products in that we were sort of thinking about making if we were to make the team. Unfortunately, didn't make the senior team, but then got invited to try for the juniors, the young butcher team. So then, going through the motions, doing what they wanted to do, following their cut sheet, sort of just had a bit of a play around at work. I'm quite lucky to work with Troy Wheeler, who's part of the senior team. So he was really encouraging to sort of stretch that creative freedom kind of thing and, be able to play with some product and sort of get my head around what we're going to do. And took it to the trial and worked out well.
Yeah, wow, that's fantastic. Matty, what about yourself? You're no stranger to this. You were in the team a few years back.
Yeah, so I was in the team back in 2014 and 15 in the senior team when it was still the Tri-Nations competition. But yeah, I've been out of the scene for a little bit, and I trialled for the senior team also, just like Justin. Unfortunately didn't make it in, which was okay. I'm still young enough to be a part of the Young Butchers Challenge. I just scraped through. Had a go, gave it another shot, did all the training here at work with the limited time we all have, and it's to be able to get through to this stage with Justin. It's going to be good fun next year in Paris.
It's a big event next year, as you're both probably aware. I think there's 15 teams you'll be up against. So, and I'm not sure whether every country's got 2 young butchers and 2 apprentices in each comp. I'm not too sure about that. Do you guys know?
Not 100% sure. I think there is some with a few and then some with none at all. I think there's even someone from Indonesia competing in the Young Butcher Challenge as well, which will be interesting. But I think there'll be plenty of, hard competition, especially with look at the likes of New Zealand and the French and, the UK. So all pretty strong butchers. So
I heard in the grapevine there's 27 of us, so...
Wow.
That's what I heard. Got a few people to beat, Justin.
Yeah, that's crazy.
As well as each other.
Yeah.
That's all right. As long as we're first and second, it doesn't matter.
1, 2?
Yeah, 1, 2.
Yeah, that's it. That would be good. Now, who's going to get first and who's going to get second? What's the go there?
I think it would be good either way.
Yeah.
Yeah, but on the day, though, you've done it before, it's gonna come down. It's going to be tight. Either way, I think just looking at some of the guys that have, between us as well, but what are some of the other guys are sort of doing in sort of trials and practices and what you see on Instagram and socials, it's going to be tough.
At the end of the day, as long as we're both on the podium, that's the main thing.
100%.
Yeah, definitely. So tell us a little bit about the way the day runs, the competition runs. What have you got to do and how much time have you got to do it in?
So we have a saddle of pork with the chump on, a bone-in rump with no fillet, but with the full tri-tip, a side of lamb, and 2 whole chickens. We have 2.5 hours to create as many products as we can in each category. So in the lamb, we have to do a grilled product, a pastry product, and I think a mini roast. In the pork, we have to do a mini roast, and the lamb, it's a grilling product and a pastry product as well. Yes, there's a few specs in each one that we have to abide by, but otherwise we have full reins in creativity with what goes on the display, including the display and cutting of the meat, and we have 2.5 hours, garnishing, everything. We'll be under the pump for those 2.5 hours to just get all that meat on our tables. It's a lot of work.
That's a fair whack to get through in 2.5 hours. So, and you've got to use everything, don't you? You can't leave anything on the table.
No, they don't want to see like any waste. Try to utilize any trim, any bones, any fat, even like ingredients. They don't want to see any wastage of ingredients. So trying to utilize everything you bring in there, plus all the products. It's a challenge for sure. Hence why it's, I suppose, the World Butchers Challenge.
And also, I think the hygiene plays a big part in it as well. Like just leaving a knife on the bench, the way that you work, you've got to be clinical about it, don't you?
Yes, definitely. There's hygiene, safety. We all have to wear mesh aprons and mesh gloves on the day. You're not allowed to leave a knife on the bench. You lose a lot of marks for that. We just got to be at our best effort on the day and as prepared as we possibly can.
So you can do all your pre-prep beforehand, so all your garnishes and that, you have that ready, or you just it's all start from scratch?
Yeah, it's all start from scratch. So you're allowed to take like any products that you can buy off the shelf. So, if you buy some sort of edible flowers or that kind of thing, you can use that. But any sort of other garnishes, so like, rinds or cut up parsley or whatever you need to do it on the day. So yeah, they only accept like pre-made ingredients you can buy from a shop. So whether it's like a pesto or whether it's like a tub of, edible flowers or whatever.
Yeah, it makes it pretty tough. So you're certainly going to have your work cut out for you on the day. Well, that's fantastic. Have you got the specs on the lamb? I know I was talking to Shannon the other day, and he was telling me the specs on the beef was massive.
Yeah, beef's big. The lamb's only 18 to 20 kilos on the spec sheet, so not crazy at all. Sort of, a little bit under butcher shop spec here. So
the beef is off a 380 kilo carcass.
Yeah, so you're going to have a big rump.
Massive.
A lot of tri-tip.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Bit like a brisket.
It will be, won't it? Yeah. Yeah. Have you done much with tri-tips before?
I've done a little bit of stuff on the tri-tip. We got them in the shop, so I know how to slice it and get the best out of it that way. But value add wise, going to have to get my creative juices going and see what we can come up with. We'll figure it out.
Can't have any meat left over, mate. But you get it up there on the plate somehow.
That's it.
In the shops, the two shops that I know both shops now. You're at Fitzroy, are you, Justin?
So actually the butchery operations manager. So I look after the retail side, so all four of them, as well as the meat production side.
Yeah, right.
So I sort of, move around a little bit to where I'm needed. Obviously cover some holidays and, product development, work on sort of the recruitment and sort of, forecasting and planning for the year and all that sort of stuff. So not so much as much cutting as what I probably used to do, but I still jump the knife a couple of times a week and still enjoy that, putting out the windows and, training with the apprentices and all that sort of stuff. So it's pretty good.
Wow, that's a pretty good job, mate. That's a great business. The whole model is a fantastic business model, and I really love what you guys do. And Maddie's shop they do a little bit of cooking as well, so maybe not to the same extent. Whereas I think Matt's more of a come in and we'll cook it up for you sort of deal. So like a QSR, quick service restaurant sort of thing. Whereas you guys are doing something a little bit different, eh?
Yeah, we got a really good kitchen team, and they produce some really really smashing sort of ready meals. They also do like a lot of jarred condiments and stuff, so sort of things that you can't really, you wouldn't get from your sort of traditional butcher shop. So we make our own harissa, we've got a crispy chili oil, we do like a burger sauce, béarnaise, pepper sauce, stocks, all that sort of stuff, as well as, pretty unique sort of ready meals. We do like the classic like lasagnas and mac and cheese, but then we move on to sort of like Basque style chicken, which is like, sort of Spanish style chicken. You've got your massaman curry and like beef rendang, all that sort of stuff. So large format pies and yeah.
Quite an extensive menu you've got there, mate.
Yeah, they sort of roll through seasonally. Aaron, the head chef, he's got it worked out on a pretty fine calendar, and it sort of just rotates it through as we need and what the customer demand is. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, awesome. And Maddie, you've got the burger bar and all the cooked stuff that you do. That's still ticking along nicely?
Yeah, our little burger shop's still ticking along nicely. It's getting a nice renovation today, so hopefully we can make some stocks and tallow and some stuff in the future now. Not maybe to the quite extent that Meatsmith do down there, but just start to make our own little brand of little condiments and things ourselves. Since, now with our waste problem we have here in Sydney, so we have to try and battle that. But yeah, the burger bar is still kicking along. We do a lot of burgers, panini, QSR service, and we do a bit of catering out of our little kitchen as well.
What's the go-to burger?
Most popular one is the Zeal, so the butcher's uncle, as we're giving all our burgers a little funny name in relation to all the family members in our family. That one is beef Wagyu patty with cheddar cheese, deep fry some onions. So we've got crispy onions in there. We make a candied bacon, McClure's pickles, and barbecue sauce. Yeah, that's the most popular burger on our menu. Everyone loves it.
Yes,
everyone loves it.
You've certainly got a great range of burgers there too, Matty. I know you both do a little bit of dry-aged meats too. So, it's been around for a little while. Is it still as popular as ever, or is that whole dry-aged sort of scene is drying up a little bit?
I feel, there's still people that want to buy it. It's a good showpiece when you got like sort of special occasions or some friends coming over. But I do feel with the way sort of the cooking scene's going and, the knowledge that's there for consumers now, it's, they can buy something probably not as expensive as the dry-aged and still have a really wonderful meal. But we still, hook through it. We have a little a steak night on Tuesdays, which has a dry-aged club steak in it with a choice of sauce, which is pretty popular. And, come to the weekend or any special occasions, it just, flies out the door.
Our dry age goes still pretty good. I find now a lot of customers are buying the home dry aging fridges. We have a lot of customer inquiries on how to use them, and they buy big pieces of meat and they like to do it themselves. So that's getting pretty popular up here. I think the culture about dry age is still around. I think it's still popular. The people that really like it, they either buy themselves a fridge or they continue to buy it in the shop. The other consumers, they've moved towards Wagyu and or these marbled Angus products, as they like that flavour better than what the dry age is.
Yeah, right. I get a few butchers that are looking at buying a dry ager just to have a bit of a play with them and see how they like. Often get guys ask about, is it still popular and that. So it's actually it's interesting to hear that it's still relatively popular. I know in food service it's still very popular in the food service sort of industry, but it's good to see that the butchers are still, selling a fair bit of the product as well. Do you do much with lamb when it comes to dry aging, or is it just pretty much predominantly beef?
No, we mainly focus on the beef side of things. I think there's been some tests done, by many people in the past, and the lamb comes up all right, but it never looks as good, and the wastage that you get off it's not great. Tastes good, but I think from a profitability point of view, it's just not worth it.
So with small goods and that, I know Matt, you do a fair bit of small goods there, but is there anything you guys are doing with beef and lamb when it comes to small goods?
I think we do a pretty primo pastrami. So, like pickled brisket, rubbed in our pastrami rub, smoked, it's pretty tasty. Flies out the door. I think you might have had some, Doug, in the past, but, it's pretty special stuff.
AMIC got a charcuterie competition on, and there seems to be a lack of beef and lamb products in amongst that. So there's a great opportunity there for butchers to have a look at different types of charcuterie, especially using beef and lamb. And one of the ones I've been sort of pushing for quite a while, and I know Ryan Nichols, I think he's at Epping, he had a bit of a crack with it too, but we did a beef ham. And he was selling it for a while in his butcher shop, and we got the boys at TAFE at Granville. We got Andrew and Benny there to have a bit of a play with it as well, and they developed one as well, and it actually went okay. It wasn't too bad. It's an opportunity there to attract a different clientele, not just as a beef ham, but with all different types of, beef or lamb. But you're just going to attract a different type of clientele to your business if you're looking at doing something different. Even a lamb pastrami, there was a young lady that we knew who started a business up over in the US using Aussie lamb, and she started making a lamb ham and lamb pastrami, and it goes off. She's actually getting it into Costco at the moment over there in the US, so it's a pretty big win to get into a big company like that. Yeah, just a little bit of food for thought for you butchers out there and you two there. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So what do you think your customers are looking for? What's the most popular thing your customers are looking for today?
For us, it's quality and the value of it. So we are quite a higher end sort of shop, and our prices reflect sort of the quality that we sell. And so as long as we're providing them with the quality of what they're paying, they're more than happy. Obviously everything's going on in this world, and they're a little bit more sort of money conscious, but they will still spend money on good meat and good product. So that's what we find. Sort of, if we can keep that quality high, we have no problem with the turnover.
And what about you, Matt? You're in sort of like a Western Sydney sort of area, quite a diverse area, really. So how do you find? What are your customers sort of looking for?
We get a bit of both end of the scale, but just like Justin said, quality and value, they're probably the two most important things. Now, I find that the home cook is a lot better with YouTube and with all these social media platforms. Our customers know how to cook a lot better than what they used to, so they're always asking us for, all different sort of cuts of the carcass. We're still doing whole carcass products, and we display everything in our shop. We've got a 14-meter display, so we've still got a diverse, fresh cuts, like straight from carcass in the shop. Our customers love that, a piece of this, piece of that. They make a sauce, or they come in with a recipe, and we're able to just go and get it for them. So I think also what's been popular lately is like these bone broths, these free-range biodynamic eggs as well. So it's just changing environment. Everyone's researching, everyone's doing what's healthy for them. Grass-fed beef, pasture-fed beef is massive now. The amount of people that are asking for pasture-fed beef in the market is just it's great to have it as a whole carcass, because you can supply it to the customers straight away,
That's interesting about people are still interested in where their meat comes from or where their food comes from in general. And, there's still that interest in there since the beginning of the pandemic. It's become more and more common for customers to be a little bit more choosy about what they're buying, what they're putting into their body. So, it's a good point to do your research, to have a look around, see what else is different out there. Because, again, you could also attract a different sort of clientele to your business as well. So what are the more popular lines? Justin, what's your most popular line out of all the shops, out of the 3 or 4 shops that you have?
Probably some of the most like, besides, you got your Scotch and your Porterhouse and, your fillet, which is always the sort of the big sellers. We sell a heap of rum cap. It's probably one of our biggest sort of steak sellers. It's slightly a better price point for people. It's, the versatility behind it, it's steak, it's roast, we have it as part of our steak night deal, cook it over coals, cook it in the pan. It comes up amazing. And then, like, in the sense of lamb, we actually do a really cool, pre-cooked lamb shoulder. So slow cooked, little simple marinade. We sous vide it for 8 hours, and then basically the customers take it home and finish it. And most weeks we can't keep up with them. Come around like special occasions like Mother's Day or Easter. They just fly out the door. Just you throw it in the oven, 45 minutes, it's done. Beautiful pull apart lamb. It's moist. It's really good.
Sounds good. I think I've seen that recipe. And you send out a weekly newsletter, don't you?
Yeah, so we got our marketing team. They do a really good job, and we put a lot of effort into like recipes and I suppose collaborations with people and try and get the best recipes we can. So we send a weekly newsletter out to our database, and generally always has like a product. And then a few like techniques and sort of stuff like that. So it's always pretty informative.
No, I love getting them. It gives us some great ideas, some inspiration. Even though we can't buy it in Sydney, get Meatsmith in Sydney, we can. It's still nice to have a look at and then try and replicate something like that at home. Gives me some ideas. What about you, Matt? What's the most popular line that you sell in the shop?
Just the Scotch fillet. It's the most popular. We can't get enough. And lamb cutlets as well. They're so easy. Everyone loves them. So we always buy a Marble Score 2 Scotch fillet. Honestly, I can't get enough. We have a good barbecue culture here, so cutlets and Scotch fillet all year round, even here in the middle of winter. It's still very popular. So they're our 2 most popular beef and lamb products. We make a easy carve leg of lamb roast. I'll make like a Mediterranean seasoning to go with it as a different style product. I started doing them when we opened here, and we're making anywhere between 12 to 15 a week. It's as an easy throw in the oven product, and they love that too. So it's beef and lamb's very strong in our shop. Lamb especially, we've got a big Assyrian community here. All they eat is lamb. That's it.
Yeah, neat. Oh, that's interesting. So fellas, it's coming to the end of the session. So Justin, I've got a couple of questions for you. We're going to get to know you a little bit better. So what's your favourite beef or lamb cut?
I'd have to agree with most of the consumers. I do love a rum cap, just the versatility of it. But partial to a hanger steak of recent. Anytime I sort of crack open a box of the hanger and sort of dig through and find the most marbled one, it always generally comes home with me. And then lamb. I don't know. I'm love a lamb shoulder. On the bone. Make a nice little sort of anchovy, chili, lemon, garlic rub. Slow roasted. It's amazing.
Yum. That sounds very good. And the best-selling beef or lamb product in your shop?
Well, I'll stick with, besides the Scotchies and the Porthouses, probably the rum cap.
Yep.
Yeah.
And what's your favourite job in the shop? What do you really shine at?
Probably don't shine at much. No, I quite enjoy, look, customer service is the forefront of it. Nothing better than sort of providing, good service to a customer and come back and talk about it. But, I like everything. I still like making sausages. It's, jumping there. I still like breaking beef and all that sort of stuff. So nothing sort of stands out as good or bad, but I love it all.
And Maddie, over to you now.
Yep.
What's your favourite cut of beef and lamb?
Favourite cut of beef is a bone-in sirloin, the closest one to the Scotch fillet. Normally cut them an inch thick and reverse sear or something like that on charcoal. That's my favourite beef cut. And lamb, I love the best neck chop, those 4 rib muscle just under that shoulder, that real necky part of it's like the Scotch fillet, the lamb. We take a lamb shoulder off for a customer and we're left with that piece of the forequarter. I always cut that little piece of lamb out, cook it on the grill here for lunch. That's my favourite part of the lamb.
I got to agree with you with the sirloin on the bone. I don't whether it be on the bone or off the bone, but that wing end part of the strip loin, it just reigns supreme. You got that bit of spinalis muscle. It's a beautiful piece of meat. And even the lamb neck, the one that you're talking about there, it's the actual the chuck eye log sort of part of the.
Yeah, you would know the technical term.
Yeah, that's magic. That's a great piece of meat. I actually did that once. I did a char siu marinade, and I marinated it for a couple of days in that, and just sort of used it like char siu pork with some rice and that. Jeez, it was good. It had really good flavour. It even looked a little bit like it actually looked a little bit nicer than the pork. It wasn't just sort of really red, but it sort of held its own sort of colour and the flavour, mate. Beautiful. Must have been the way it was cooked and smoked, I reckon. Your last one, dry aged versus wet aged. Which one do you prefer and why?
I prefer dry age. The flavour profile you get from a dry aged steak is just something else. As its muscles break down, it's so soft and that little bit of funky flavour. It's I love it. I love dry age. So
Yeah, I've got to agree.
Yeah, me too. I think it's just got that nuttiness, that funky flavour, like you said, that something you can't get anywhere else, is it? Well, fellas, anything else you'd like to add today?
No, just follow us on our trip to Paris. I think it's going to be a good event, and I feel like, with the part of the team, the Australian Butchery team, I think it's going to, be a good build-up, and we just, you were there on the weekend, we did a massive content day, and I think following the journey is going to be pretty good for anyone in the industry or, not, to sort of see where we get to and see how we go.
Definitely get behind the Australian Butcher team, like us on our socials, even at myself and Justin. We're representing the country and we all want to do a good job and make everyone proud.
Butchers out there, make sure that you follow the team on the socials. That's the Australian Butcher team. Give them some love and support, and let's just see how we go next year. So we've got 1 and 2 in the young Butcher team. We got the apprentices there with Kai and Hayden, so that'll be 1 and 2 as well, I suppose. And in the apprentices, and then you got the main team, the seniors, they'll get the first. So hey, how'd that look coming back home with the trophy?
Oh yeah, be good.
Look good.
All right, fellas, look, great to catch up again. Great to see you. Thanks a lot for everything. Thanks for your time today, and look after yourselves. We'll catch up with you soon.
Awesome. Thanks, Doug.
Will do. Thanks a lot, Doug.